I'm here with George Takei, who really needs no introduction. George, you appear to be in terrific shape, what with a movie, a play, a book, all of the social media, and we'll get to that in a second. How do you do it?
Well, I get a lot of help, particularly from my hubby, who is somewhere, there he is, Brad Takei. That's his bachelor name, Altman.
Right, exactly.
He helps me an awful lot. But I've also been very lucky in getting all these opportunities. And particularly, with the AARP, they're allowing me to reach that great, large, huge, diverse demographic of Star Trek fans, their children, and their grandchildren via the internet.
Well, speaking of the internet and speaking of social media, the digital revolution is often thought of as a young people's business, but we all know differently. As you personify, the culture is now shifting to, I guess, what we'll call the AARP revolution. What do you think?
Well, if that means reaching from the millennials to the actually, I'm older than the baby boomers. So if it's reaching that wide spectrum, yes, I agree.
You're kicking off the second season of Takei's Take on YouTube. Tell me a little bit about the show, please.
Well, we talk about and show and introduce technology, what's trending in technology, for example, Google Glass, or the various kinds of services that might be available to you. You learn how you can rent out that spare room or that spare space in your car. I mean, technology is wonderful, and it introduces to this fascinating, eclectic world out there. So everybody should be a participant in this.
No question there. And that leads me to my last question. What's next for George Takei?
Well, heading for Broadway. I've done a lot of theater. I've done little off-Broadway and theater in Los Angeles and theater in Great Britain, from Scotland to all the way down south to, I forget the name of the town, Canterbury and Reading and all those other places, as well as London. But I've never done Broadway. And we're coming to Broadway with a musical titled Allegiance. That's about essentially my childhood growing up in prison and 2 internment camps, yes.
I will make sure to catch that.
Totally going where I've never been before, Broadway.
Wonderful. George, thank you so very much. I really appreciate this. This was great. Thank you. I'm here with Michelle Alvarez, spokesperson for AARP. Michelle, how does a spokesperson like George translate to the needs of AARP?
Well, George is the perfect person for us to team up with for our YouTube show, Takei's Take. We wanted to create something that would really cross generations. And George, his followers go from the Star Trek generation to their kids to now their grandkids. So he's really the perfect person to show that technology really has no bounds and limits when it comes to age.
Now, technology and social media, and really South by Southwest by its own definition, is thought of as being an event and a genre for youth. Why is AARP even here?
AARP is all about breaking down those barriers and showing that age is just a number. 50 isn't what it used to be, and that's where our audience starts, is 50 and up. But we're also talking to people a little younger than that as well, and showing them kind of what AARP is all about and how it's relevant to them even now, before they hit that mark. George really can speak to that demographic that is around 50, may have parents living with them, may have kids in college, helping them to use technology to connect across those generations. So South by is the best place for us to be right now with George to kind of spread that word. And we're also shooting the second season of Takei's Take here in Austin. So we've captured the whole experience of George's first experience here at South by Southwest.
Well, you segued into my next question. Tell me a little bit about Takei's Take from the vantage point of AARP.
So Takei's Take really focuses on what's hot in the internet and technology. And George comes on the show and really tells the story behind everything from Google Glass to what's trolling to what's South by Southwest, and breaks it down in a way that's appealing for multiple audiences. So if you're 65 and you've never heard of Google Glass, but you're thinking about buying a new gadget, check out that episode where he tries it on for the first time and interviews somebody to explain exactly what it is. He'll look at trolling for security issues. People should know what that's all about. So it's really, we span across a number of topics, and Takei's Take just does a really good job of breaking things down in a way that's digestible to people who may not be familiar with certain topics or want to see what's trending right now in technology.
For those who don't know, how do you get the episodes?
We're on YouTube, so youtube.com/Takei's Take, and we're debuting new episodes every other week. Right now we're on hiatus, but you can check out season 1. As I said, we're filming here in Austin for season 2, and we'll be debuting that in the next few months as well.
Terrific. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks for having us.
You bet.